Go, Allie, go.
Hello and welcome to Purl. Ooh, am I doing the floor? Hi, friends. Hi again. Hi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Purl Perspectives. Today we'll be chatting about all of our regular things, aka dorks, what we're doing in our daily lives, but we're also, maybe, potentially, hopefully, I kind of want to see what happens, going to talk about crafting and capitalism and mass consumerism. So let's see what we get up to today, and hopefully it's a good conversation, and hopefully you chime in the chat and you provide us with your opinions on the things we talk about, because we're not experts, we're just consumers, so...
Yeah. Mass
consumers. It is hard to live in this time, with the things the way they are.
That's true.
And not be a mass consumer. So
it's true. And this is Purl Perspectives, a bi-weekly podcast where the three of us real-life friends come to you from Ottawa, Canada, and talk about what we're making, what we're watching, what we're feeling, what's weighing us up and weighing us down and lifting us up, and just whatever shenanigans are coming through our minds that day. And spoiler alert, it's a lot of shenanigans.
Always.
I'm Anahí.
I'm Allie.
And I'm Carine.
And we are your three pearls. And I think, without any further ado, because we've had much ado today.
Many ado. About something.
We should get started with some dorks. Who here is a dork?
And a nerd. And a geek.
All of the things.
All of the above, really. Carine, what are you drinking? What is your outfit? What are you reading? What are you knitting?
Well, first of all, I'm drinking from this gorgeous mug.
Ooh.
Here. I just want to show it because it's freaking glorious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Gerbo who brought that mug back from a powwow that he went to with his coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
The coworker that is on their team, that is their Indigenous liaison representative, invited them to go to the reserve where she lives, and experience the powwow they were putting together.
So
and there was an artist selling that mug.
It's really nice. I am drinking tangerine honey white tea.
Fun.
That is so many flavors.
Fancy.
I know, and it's very light. I'm smelling mostly the tangerine and the honey. Like, white tea doesn't have that much of a big smell.
Yeah.
Or strong smell, I should say. But
yeah, it's very unaromatic.
But it's very this is a really nice combination. It's from Stash. Is it Stash?
Yeah, Stash tea.
Yeah, Stash tea.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
Nice.
So that's what this and just plain water because it's so darn hot.
It is. I thought we were past the heat wave, and yet.
Of course, I'm drinking it in my glorious
knit, sip, knit.
Nip, knit, sit, nip.
Nips.
Nips.
Knit, sit. Oh yeah, I was gonna say knit, sit, but knit, sip, knit. There we go. I get it.
This makes me, I don't have a big Stanley or faux Stanley cup like that, but it makes me want to get one because we have a Cricut at work and I could totally print off something like that to stick on
something that
bottle.
says nip,
Nip, knit.
nip, nip, sip.
Yeah.
There's something along those lines.
Yeah.
I am wearing, I believe this is the Streamline Tank.
Yeah, by Alexander Tavel.
Yes.
Two of wands.
And this is baby alpaca, 100% from La
Just like you,
Bobineuse.
baby alpaca.
I'm pretty sure I was a baby alpaca in another life.
I believe it.
Or I will manifest it so much that it will happen in my next life.
Hell yeah.
One or the other.
Absolutely.
So yes, this is from La Bobineuse. It's their DK weight. It's glorious. I love it. It's the first project I made with this yarn, and
it's beautiful.
It's kind of what the yarn that made me, the yarn that made me fall in love with alpaca was this.
We really gotta go back to La Bobineuse because
we have to go back to Montreal.
Honestly,
oh no, another yarn crawl.
What a drag.
When was the last? It was 2000.
It was in 2022, I think.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should do it. So we did this
we
Montreal
should go to Montreal
crawl.
for a yarn crawl and then pick a cafe and have a knit night there with we can put it on the meetup.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
That's
that
really
would be
smart.
fun.
I would just be down for a weekend away in Montreal.
Honestly,
anytime.
Which we did with a yarn crawl component to it.
Yeah.
Excellent
All day,
idea.
every day. Because then it's 2 days of knit crawling.
Yeah, and now that the fall is coming, I would be so down for a little Montreal hike. You know.
We could go to Mont Royal.
We can go to
Mont
Mont
Royal
Royal.
in the fall is really nice.
But
We
we're going
can
to drive
drop-
up the backside.
Yeah.
We're not going to climb up those stairs.
Oh hell no.
We can drop Allie off at the little castle at the top.
We're gonna take
excellent choice.
We're gonna take a page from the fat squirrels that live in Mont Royal and just be lazy. Take the lazy way up there. Just chill and have
not
fun.
lazy. We're
Well-
just taking the less exercisey way.
Well, yeah.
Mother
I guess.
Nature knows best.
Mm-hmm.
If it's good for the squirrels, it's good for
Well,
me.
they're also very well fed over there. Like they're not scared of anyone.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure if you try to like sit down, they'll mug you.
Okay.
Like,
The
they're,
squirrels?
they're pretty impressive.
We'll circle back to a Montreal weekend / yarn crawl, and if we
Right.
do decide to do that, we will let the good folk know, so maybe we can
Yeah.
organize something social. But Carine, what are you reading? What are you knitting?
I'm reading. So I just got a Kobo. So I've my partner was sweet enough to get me one after I've asked about 50 times for my birthday. So I've been stashing it with stuff. So I was technically still reading the just six Crimson Crames. I'm in the middle of it, and then I got distracted by Kobo, and now I'm almost done with Chasing the Wild by Elliott Rose. It's a cowboy romance.
Yeah.
It's my first time reading a cowboy romance, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure how I feel about it. I mean,
So
look,
maybe not quite a giddy up?
I think look, there's nothing wrong with it. I like the story is okay. I just feel like it's a little like stretch, a little long. The protagonist is very much like a daddy. Like he's an older gentleman. It's very nice.
a daddy or a zaddy?
Wait, what's the difference?
Pretty much the hotness level.
Yeah.
I want to say
Is it a Pedro Pascal level of daddy, or is it like a...
Pedro Pascal.
Okay, that's what we want.
Let's talk about this. A daddy would be like a modern day George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know?
daddy.
Like a Mark Ruffalo kind of vibe.
Yeah.
A little scruffy, a little
Yeah,
salt
yeah,
pepper.
that's what I'm getting from that book.
Probably a little on the safer financial status. That's a daddy.
I mean, he owns his own ranch, so
a zaddy.
No guarantee that that's financially solvent.
true.
Exactly.
In the book, it is.
A zaddy would be like a Pedro Pascal. Like, I don't actually care if he has money. We're probably gonna go on like crazy adventures together.
Okay,
and
no.
also
I would be more of a zaddy, but in this case, we are definitely talking about a daddy.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's like an age gap romance. It's not a huge age gap, but it's still an age gap in my book. I mean, it is. No, it's
In
a
your
pretty
opinion,
big,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. Anyway, it's not like super troublesome for me, but the whole cowboy part of it, I'm just not super like, okay, they're like they work
Just
with
not for you,
horses. It's
yeah.
cute. I'm like, I like horses, but I'm not sure I want an entire book about it. So I
I'm
don't
not trying to read a book about horses.
so,
You're more of like what, like a mafia romance level of...
no, I don't know.
or-
No, I'm still much more of a fantasy,
Okay, romantic.
like
yeah.
romantic or paranormal. Like I need some kind of magic involved.
Yep,
So
The
so
magic
far,
of friendship.
yeah, so far the non-magical stuff are a hit and miss for me. There's a few that are well written, and I think what works is that they're short enough that I
Yeah.
don't get like. But a lot of the longer drawn out ones, if there's no magical element, you kind of lose me because I'm like, okay, this is kind of like really one note. Like it's cute, but like, am I gonna read the rest in the series? I'm not gonna lie, maybe.
Oh!
Because there are more, and the thing is, I don't care about the cowboy vibe, but I like the characters.
Okay.
So I want to know, like, there's another character that's introduced in the book that I'm like, okay, what's their story? And now apparently it's in book 2. So I'm like, okay, now I'm invested. So this is how they get me. So I may actually kind
That's
of
how they
like
get me too.
read, what do you call it, diagonally? Where I kind of like, there's parts of the book, I know, I shouldn't say that. People will come at me.
You can read whatever way you want to read.
I feel like there's some books that I want to know what happens. I just don't need to read like every possible part where they like again like take care of horses or whatever. So I tend to like read fast those parts and then read the parts that I really enjoy. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading right now. It's okay. Like it's definitely not like in my top reads, but the author that I'm mentioning, the Elliott Rose, she wrote other stuff that I really enjoyed. So this one just didn't hit as much for
What's
me.
it called?
Chasing the Wild. That's the first one. I forgot what the second one is.
Okay.
Something Storm.
We can figure that out. That's what Google's for.
Yeah, pretty much. And knitting, well, I keep on knitting.
You've made so much progress.
Oh my god. Does that have like a cable detail on the side?
It's a little bit. It's not so much a cable as like It's like pearl knit like like you can. I don't know if you. I don't think the
Oh,
camera's
kind
gonna
of
catch
like a
it.
double seed stitch. Oh,
There we go.
wow.
Right,
That's
so it's like
so
kind of. It's
cute.
actually really nice. I like it.
Double seed stitch for
So
sure.
I'm
Is that going to carry down all the side
Yep,
of the
yep.
body?
It goes all the way to the bottom,
Nice.
and then after that, all I have left to do is the turtleneck part and the sides because there's a ribbing on all of them. So that's it. I mean, I say this, but there's still quite a lot left. I still have an entire other skein of this to go through. This is the first one, and I still have another one. And I'm hopeful that I will have enough yarn.
So shiny.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, that's looking good.
So that's my dork.
I love it.
So dorky.
Allie, you dork.
Me? I am a dork. Thank you for noticing.
For noticing, I feel
What
so
am I
happy.
drinking today? So I have cherry sparkling water, lemonade, and then a little bit of raspberry syrup. And can I just say, hydration, 20 out of 10.
Is the key to performance.
Is pretty much what you
But
should have
also
done
there's-
this morning.
That's why we're doing the fun drink now.
Yeah.
I definitely forgot to drink anything until about 11 a.m. this morning after I had walked across a big bridge in the heat. And I was like, oh, I'm dehydrated. Let's have coffee. Great.
That'll
great
help.
Idea. It is.
Great idea.
Unfortunately, it's something I do more regularly than I should admit to.
I also do that all the time. I don't know if you guys have seen like those the text meme that's been floating around that says 3 coffees, no lunch. That's often me especially when I go to the office, but because I will go to the office, I'll stop on the way in to get a coffee, get in there, have my coffee, and then I kind of get in the groove and just have another coffee from the office, and then someone will ask me to go on a walk-in meeting, and we'll go walk down to the bridgehead and get another coffee. And last thing I know, it's 2 p.m. and I haven't had any food. And that's a neurodivergent.
I can't say that I emphasize with that because at 11:47 on the dot, my stomach is like, hello?
Hello?
And I'm usually the first
Oh
person.
my god, you're Obelix.
Oh,
okay.
So, because he says, okay, for my French people, il est midi 12. At every time it's midi 12, he's like, I gotta eat. Like, it's just, it's like ingrained in his brain that at 12:12,
Yeah.
food is happening.
I am almost always the first person to the lunch table. And we have, because of the way my
Yum,
kitchenette
yum,
is
yum,
set
yum,
up in
yum,
my
yum.
office, and because of the way the building is wired, we can't have the coffee maker and the microwave plugged in at the same time. So it is almost always me who unplugs the coffee maker and plugs in the microwave right before noon.
Is that like it's sort of the ritual of the coffee is over, it is now food time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Ironically
declare
enough, I don't even use the coffee maker, so it's. But either way, yeah, I am very much like hello, like my stomach is like it's time. My body likes routines.
Midi
What can I
douze.
say? C'est midi douze. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Il est midi 12.
Yeah.
Le midi douce.
There's a very famous scene in
So,
one of the movies where
can't
that's
say I
literally
miss-
like him saying this, like, because they're in the middle of about to fight, and he's like, no,
It's
like, I
lunchtime.
don't think you understand. It's lunchtime,
Yeah.
and then he literally eats the beast or whatever they were fighting with because he was
Okay,
hungry.
Listen, if you gotta eat, you gotta eat.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm kind of a mixture because if I don't eat breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, I'm an angry person.
Can confirm.
But
We don't like hangry Carine.
afterwards, kind of a
Fine.
hit and miss.
Cuddle bug. Absolutely. So docile like a little kitten.
I mean, and I don't need coffee.
You just gotta get some carbs in
I
there.
don't.
that's
I
all.
don't drink coffee. I just give me my It's give me my
Oatmeal.
banana.
Banana?
It's
The
I can
potassium?
go without anything and just a banana. But if I don't have my banana, somebody's gonna die. Like, and
And it won't be you.
it's not gonna be me. So yeah.
No,
But then
it's
the rest of the day, it's kind of a bit of more you. Like if I think about it, I'll eat.
Hyper focus on your
Yeah.
activity and then like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
Like
I
I
haven't
should
eaten.
probably eat.
My day revolves around my meals. My meals don't fit into my day.
That's a very hobbity way to live your life.
Yes,
and
I
approve.
truly, if I could have breakfast, tea time, 11C's lunch, second lunch,
Second
dinner,
breakfast.
Supper.
supper. Like if I
and a
could,
midnight snack.
if I could,
Live the Hobbit way.
I would. Unfortunately, I'm
If
a little
I
too poor to have that
could,
much food in my
and
food.
I would not going.
Can we agree that if everybody followed the Hobbit way, we would have a much better world?
Truly.
Listen,
Truly
this
we
is
would.
really funny because I've been running these like monthly like social encounters at work that I called personal passion presentations, where we just like make a presentation of whatever you want, and it's just a way to like, you know, build a bit of team rapport where we don't work together, right? Because we're spread out across the country. And no joke, this past Thursday, it was my turn to present, and my presentation was 10 ways to live your life like a hobbit.
I'm
that
so
was-
appropriate.
And that was one of the things that I said.
But I mean, think about it. We would be living a simple life. We'd be well fed. Like I don't see how they are not they are the hero of this story. But I don't see how this is not the life.
Do you need some more liquid?
I'm trying to. Yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to take
Well,
care of the
To
condensation.
take advantage of this break in conversation, let me return to what my outfit is.
Yes.
The rest of my dork.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we were doing that.
Can you tell that there's two people in the room with ADHD and one who doesn't have ADHD? I love the two of you to death, by the way. But I just think it's so cute how the way sometimes our conversations go this way.
Honestly,
And then I'm almost always the one who's like, let's go back.
Well, yeah, you're the herder.
The thing is,
I'm the
You're
border
the
collie.
shepherd.
the thing is, this wouldn't
No,
work.
the
I'm
shepherd.
Look, I'm hairy enough like the border collie. It could work.
It
Maybe this
wouldn't-
is our Halloween costume.
It wouldn't work without you.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
no way this would work. We'd like, can you imagine just?
And
us?
let's
Jesus.
circle back to the dork. So it is
Matt.
it is the temperature of Satan's butthole outside. So the thought of wearing anything cotton or wool or whatever,
Yeah, seriously.
big note. So today I decided to wear this beautiful crochet bandana that my friend Yuna made for me.
And it's a Gorgina.
I love
Yes,
it. I want
it
17
is.
more in all colors
Yeah.
so that I can wear them all summer long.
And
all
I
winter
don't
long.
think you can appreciate from afar how delicate and complex this bandana is. Yuna made.
I'm going to take it off because you guys don't need to see how grimy my
Yuna
hair
made
is.
a grid with picot flowers in the middle of each box, and it's just incredibly
It's gorgeous.
detailed.
It
and
is
gorgeous.
one of the most beautiful gifts I have ever received.
so thoughtful.
And it's butter yellow, which is apparently on trend right now, so I feel very trendy wearing
yeah, who'd
it.
have thought?
And the 2000s fashions are coming back, so I'm like, okay, great, we're here, we're in it. We look like we're doing this intentionally and not just because my hair is so gross because of the heat.
Nobody would have
Great.
noticed that. I wouldn't have noticed that.
Well, good, I'm glad, because
I think everybody's
can't
just
not see
focusing
it.
on their own.
But anyway, no,
hair.
I personally love bandanas. I was a bandana kid, and then I stopped wearing them in like my mid-teens when they fell out of style. And I can't believe I never got back to them. But now, we're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bringing the bandanas back.
Hey, we all know how fashion works. It's
Yeah.
cyclical.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues has a great like headband collection, and she wears a different one every day. And I always look forward to being on meetings with her because I know Riley's gonna come through with the headband.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a great look.
I was like, what is she wearing today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Is it the velvet one? Is it the sparkly one?
Do you have a favorite?
They're just so nice.
She has like a puffy white one with like a little knot in the middle. That is so good.
Alrighty, so for my reading, I am halfway through the second book in the Galactic Bonds series. Our friend of the pod, Knit Night friend Carolyn, the librarian, recommended
Carol.
the book Only Bad Options by Jennifer Estep. The hold finally came in. I think it was like right around the time we had filmed our last live stream. The hold finally came in. I read it. I like gobbled it up so fast. It was so good. And I'm reading the second one right now. I'm about halfway through it, and I freaking love it because it's like an multi-planetary world, and they have like super advanced technology. But there's also people that have like the like upper echelons of society have powers like magic abilities, and so the main characters have like telepathic powers.
Okay.
They call them psionic powers in the books, but they're so good. I love them. I'm like I think there's like 5 out. Carolyn, you were right. These are fantastic. I'm gonna gobble them all up, and I'm really excited about that. But I like to have multiple books on the go. We've established this. So I haven't started these 2 yet, but these are the next up on my list. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Doughty. This was lent to me by a friend of the pod, Alex. I'm really stoked to get to reading this one.
I want to read that one.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I took a bunch of courses when I was in my undergrad related to the funeral industry in Canada, and I just find it absolutely fascinating. So when Alex was like, "Oh, I have a copy. Do you want to read it?" I was like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
So
I do.
What is it about?
So it's written by, I can't remember exactly, but essentially it's the author worked in a crematory.
Okay.
And it's just like the lessons that she's learned about life and like things that she's...
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
This is a memoir brimming with gallows humor and vivid characters. She marvels at the gruesome history of undertaking and relates her unique coming-of-age story with bold curiosity and mordant wit.
That must be very interesting, like, living that life.
Yeah.
Because it takes... I'm sorry, but it takes courage, in my opinion, to follow that specific career path.
I'm really intrigued. In my previous job as a tour guide, I worked giving tours some of the time at a cemetery here in the city. And so I got to know some of the cemetery staff and just hearing about like their stories and the kind of work that they do and the kind of care that they provide to grieving families was just really interesting. So when this book came out, I wanted to read it. I put it on hold at the library and it was like forever. But then Alex was like, "Oh, I have a copy." So
it's crazy to me that so many people would be interested in stories from a crematorium staff person, but I'm certainly interested.
No, I think because it's so different from anybody else when you think about it.
Because it's such a unique profession, but one that like we're all eventually going to be interested in.
Yeah.
I think it's also because there's also that fascination with all things death related, right?
Sure.
Whether you're fascinated, scared, apprehensive, whatever, like there's an emotion related
attached
to it, and it's very different from everything else.
And especially too, like as we get to the point now, like in our 30s and 40s, we have aging parents. We have to be cognizant of things in the future, like death and planning, that I personally think it's just really good to be prepared. And so while my parents are spry and healthy, I want to be prepared. So this is part of that, like, let's creep into a better understanding of things like that. So
I think it's a healthy way to do it.
That's honestly the first book on my next book. And now, Gerbo, because I know you're watching, Dune. Unearthed. So I was out with Annie and Gerbo a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch the first Dune movie because it's going to be off Crave real soon. And Gerbo was like, "Oh, you haven't read it yet?" I was like, "No, I'm breaking my rules of reading the book first before I watch the movie because it's going to be leaving Crave soon." And he's like, "That's a good idea. You don't really have to read the book." And I got this eye twitch. I was like, I have to read the book. So I went home and you know what? I turned on the movie. I lasted 6 minutes and 27 seconds.
What?
And then you're like,
I was like, I can't do it. I can't watch it. I haven't read it. So I turned the movie off. And I will, Gerbo, because here it is. I bought this copy in 2010.
Girl.
Because a friend pulled it off a shelf and he recommended it to me. He's like, "You're going to love it." And I was like, "Okay." And I bought it. 15 years later, I still haven't read it. I want to.
Because to be fair, it's a very complicated... I think you would really love it. No,
that does not concern... Like, I'm not worried about complex. I'm not worried about world building. That's the kind of stuff I love.
But that's what I mean. I think you're going to really love it.
I'm going to gobble this shit up. It's just that it's a chunk, and I'm tired.
The chunk really intimidates me.
However, I will say this. At the end of September and early October, there's a 3-week period where I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling, work-related and personally. And I'm like, dude, I bring Dune. I have a couple of ebooks.
Bring Dune, dude.
Bring Dune, dude. Because for me, with the big chonkers, I'm never intimidated by the girth of a book. I'm not intimidated. I said what I said. And I said it intentionally.
You'll like them big. You'll like them girthy.
Watch this get clipped for a YouTube short. Like I was saying, I'm not intimidated by how long this book is. I'm not intimidated by the worldview or the world building or the lore or anything. That's the kind of stuff I love. For me, it's just getting started. because once I get started and then I'm invested,
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's the starting that's the hard part. Yeah.
Because here's the thing, for me, I will easily disregard all of the responsibilities in my everyday life.
I believe
and sit
this.
on the couch for 6 hours reading.
I believe
And for a
this.
book this size and with a world this complex, I know I'm going to do that at least twice in the first week. So I'm like navigating around my schedule being like, do I have a week where I can put 15 hours aside to just read?
I mean, you can read in the plane, right?
15 hours
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah.
really
No,
ambitious
I say
for
this
a book
'cause
that chunk.
Not
No,
everybody
I'm not
can.
saying 15 hours to finish it.
Oh,
I'm saying
okay.
15 hours over the first week of reading it where it's just untouched. Like, it's just me on the couch
Understood.
reading
Yeah.
for several hours at a time.
Like you
Yeah,
can do
Yeah,
a lot of work.
I don't get motion sick. I
Okay.
can read on a plane, a train, a car.
I hate you
have no
so
problem
much.
whatsoever. So I am making this my travel book when I go at the end of September, and you can hold me to it. If I'm not done by Christmas, Gerbo, you can put an egg on my head.
What?
A metaphorical egg.
I was gonna say, like, we heard it here, folks.
No, I am really
Live
excited
stream
about.
of Allie getting an egg on her head.
Wait, but what are we talking about? Like a hard-boiled egg or like a cracked
I
egg?
said
or
metaphorical, not a real one.
But we want details.
I'm thinking quail.
Scrambled eggs.
Well, joke's on you, because I will be reading this before Christmas. So
I believe that you will.
I'm excited.
Is it bad that I hope she
love-
doesn't, so I get to see the egg?
I love books, and I love reading big
Just
books.
FYI, there's an
and I
egg
love-
emoji in the chat.
I'm gonna have to watch my back.
Yeah.
Just coming home from work one day, smacked in the head with an egg.
No,
Hey,
he has
Allie,
to do
have you
it in
finished
front of
Dune
cameras.
yet?
In front of cameras.
How many books are there in the Dune series?
I'm not actually sure. There's Dune Messiah, the third one. I want to say like 4 or 5?
Okay.
Because, so Frank Herbert wrote Dune, and everybody was like, ooh, Paul Atreides, he's a great guy.
Looks like it's 6.
And then he wrote Dune Messiah because he's like, nope, Paul Atreides is a shithole
Oh.
character. And then he just kept writing after that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, a lot of people misunderstood.
Yeah.
They all assumed he was the hero, and he was like,
Which is
"That's not what I meant."
There's it's Dune Messiah is what makes me want to read Dune, because when the movies came out, is that Denis Villeneuve? Who's the director?
Yeah,
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve
Great guy, or like
made
great.
Dune because he wanted to make Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, because he
but he
wanted to
needed-
show that.
Yeah,
part.
he
needed to lore drop before he actually
exactly.
wrote
So
what he
when I
wanted.
heard that fact and I found out that was why Dune Messiah was written, the second book, I was like, okay, now I really want to read these.
That's a cool
I
fact.
think there is.
so-
It looks like there's 6, but I'm not sure. I have no. Honestly, I have.
Well,
1,
either
2,
way, I'm
3,
gonna-
4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna read one this year. I'm in the midst of so many different series right now that I love to read series through, but then I get distracted
never
by
mind.
other series and I bounce around. But yeah,
Fair, that's fair.
we'll read.
Traditional. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then what am I knitting? Finally, to round out my dork, just a sock. Just a sock with some
Look at
pretty.
that! It's such a happy color.
I've turned the heel and I'm just on the gusset right now. I
It's
haven't knit any
beautiful.
socks since like July, so
Can I hold
it's
it
a nice.
close?
Yeah, sure. It's a nice change. This is yarn that I got from Zoe of Woolerton Estates. They
Hi, Zoe.
were having a bit of a de-stash / mini sale the last time they were here in Ottawa. And this was one of their like trial
It's
tester colorways. So I don't think it was ever turned into like an actual colorway.
I don't
So
think
it's,
in the video is translating just how truly neon bright this is.
I was
So fun.
I was lying in bed reading the other day. I had my iPad propped up and I just had my side table lamp on and I was knitting and I was like, I don't even need the lamp on. Like, this is bright enough. I'm good. So
It's reflective.
it was coming in handy. And then I was working on this when we were at the movie day.
Uh,
And also, same thing. I was like, it doesn't even matter that the lights are low. I can see what I'm doing. So, yep. So that's my dork. Drinking water plus wearing my outfit, crochet bandana, reading books, knitting sock.
so,
Ta-da!
Annie, what's your dork?
Oh man. I'm a double drink girl today. I'm
Mhm.
usually a 3-drink goblin. But now I'm double caffeinating. Once again, 3 coffees, no lunch. No, I'm kidding. I did have lunch.
We fed her, don't worry.
They fed me, which is great. I'm having a mocha latte from Lafayette Bakery here in the neighborhood. And I'm having a homemade creamy Earl Grey iced London fog, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. Making milky tea at home is a lot easier than I thought and is very enjoyable.
Yeah, the key is you have to like take, at least for me, milk changes to a much more like creamy rounded flavor when you steam it.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm gonna have it iced, I like to steam the milk just to get that flavor, like a little. I don't think it really caramelizes, but it does.
No, but it's like the fats kind of like emulsify a bit and like fill up.
100%. Yeah. And so that's the key for me is I brew up. I know it looks just like milk, but it is like
It's
up
got
to
like
here of tea and then just a little bit of milk.
It's the same color as my white mom. With the tan. So, not milky white, but like adjacent.
But like milk adjacent.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah. My outfit. I am currently wearing a dress from Winners.
Nice.
That is pretty summery, but because it's
Satan's asshole outside?
Satan's asshole outside, I wore just a dress. But inside, to bring a little bit of extra woolly goodness, I'm wearing my Look at My Holes raglan shirt.
It's so cute. I gotta make one of those.
I love it.
And this is made in Lion Brand True Boo, which is super silky and slippery, has absolutely no elasticity. So
Make sure you count that.
Make sure you
Take that into account.
You take that into account because whatever it looks like on your needles, that's what it's gonna look like when it's done.
Okay.
So
Duly noted.
there will be no growth during blocking. There'll be a little bit stretching out.
True.
And
wearing a nice
wearing
new hair
a
color
nice
too.
new hair color too. Yes.
Yeah.
This is,
Fiery.
I call it the Brianna Special, which is when I go to my stylist, Brianna Troich, at Mint Hair Salon, and I just tell her a vibe, and she's like, let's go. I got you. Let's do it. So the vibe, it's actually pretty close. The vibe this time was a fall sunset. So we did a split dye gradient of purple to orange and orange to purple.
Looks so good.
And we inverted the ombre, the gradient on the bangs as well. So it's like orange, purple. Anyway, once it's like down and zhuzhed up, it looks like really, I don't know, very like swirly.
I saw it yesterday when it was fresh out the chair, and it was like you were like the walking embodiment of autumn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, is to like
Yeah.
get into the fall spirit. And maybe I'll show the back a little bit because I think the back of it is.
Yeah.
Does that show it all?
Yeah, it's definitely more muted on camera than it is. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like this color underneath, I don't know if you can see it. Turn your head a little bit this way. There we go.
Yeah.
Like that bright orange is so much brighter, and like it really is closer to this than it, but it looks so good. It looks so good.
I'm
Brianna
very happy
knows
with it.
her stuff.
And you know, I hadn't had like this much orange on my hair before. And the first time I saw my face after it, I was like, oh, is this a big mistake? Am I too brown for this? But no. I like it. I think
it looks great.
Thank
Orange
you.
is one of the colors of, what are we? Is it dark autumn?
I think
whatever
you're
it is, whatever
dark.
I'm a deep autumn is
Deep
what
autumn.
I am.
Like a deep.
We're the same color palette, and it is
Yeah.
like the middle of the color palette, like this. That's your hair.
Yeah, I'm the soft one. I'm the soft autumn.
You're a soft autumn?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's like this way of measuring the contrast of your hair color or like your features color versus your skin tone, and depending on that ratio, you get recommendations for a color palette that's assigned to like related to seasons, and that color palette is supposed to suit you really nicely.
Yeah.
So
And it does.
there you go. So this is my autumn hair, my Look at My Holes shirt, and my winter's dress. That's my outfit.
Right.
Reading?
I'm actually not reading right now. I finished reading this book that I think I talked about 2 weeks ago, Not in Love, by Ali Hazelwood.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
That's definitely one of the spiciest books I've ever read. Just because, and she prefaces this at the beginning of the book with a little disclaimer. It's not a romance book. There is some romance, but there's a lot of like, it's more just like a casual relationship that evolves into something else.
Yeah.
So it's more like she describes it as an erotic novel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I really do feel that. And it was a nice break from all of the, like, the gushy, super sweet, like, teeth hurt kind of.
Yeah, a little too much, romantic.
much romance. And I thought this was really refreshing. It was just like, it felt like real struggles of real people.
Yeah.
That are having that, not a commitment issue, but
They're not really...
it's not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Right? They're not looking to, like, fall in love and do this grand gesture. And,
They have a need, they're wanting to scratch, and that's about it.
Yeah.
To start. Yeah.
So that's what I finished reading. And Ali, you let me know that there is a follow-up to that
it just
book.
came out earlier this year. It's called Problematic Summer Romance. It features other characters that are in the
that
story.
same story. So I'm probably going to pick that one up too. I saw it for sale. I think
I have a copy.
Yeah, but I think I want to get the audiobook.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So
That's true.
I'll figure that out. But in the meantime, instead of reading, I've been playing Tales of the Shire, the official Hobbity sim Lord of the Rings game.
That must be so soothing.
It is actually not the way I play it, partner.
Oh, never mind.
Not the way I play it. I am min-maxing that Hobbit life, which is
Min-maxing?
What does that mean?
So it's sort of like when you find the most efficient way to make the most impact with the stats in your character. That's called min-maxing.
okay.
It's sort of like, do you know what metagaming is?
No.
Metagaming is in a role-playing game, like when you're playing a character in a video game, you're supposed to just like take into the personality of the character and play as if you were there and make decisions as if you were them, right? But metagaming is you know how the game functions, so you make the decisions not based on what the character would do, but based on what would be most efficient in the game, as in the mechanics. So it's supposed to be relaxing, and I definitely feel relaxed after playing for a good 3 hours. But I am going so hard on that game. I want to fish every fish. I want to cook every dish. I want to find and forage every nut and mushroom in the Shire.
Okay, I see what you mean. But it's still...
It's so much fun.
Okay.
That's what matters.
And the stakes are so low. The only thing you have to worry about is if you don't invite one of your neighbor hobbits to share a meal with you in a long time, they will get disgruntled.
Oh.
So it
nobody wants
is
to be grumbled.
soothing it in a way, but not like, you know what I mean? Like it
Exactly.
soothes your brain or like calms down your brain, but
It really
But
does.
it does, it's still like
But
effort.
I'm playing it with a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I think is what is the thing.
There's a lot of
So
excitement.
I've not been reading, but I've been gaming. And I think that is equally as exciting for me.
On what platform is it? On what,
I believe it's in multiple platforms. I'm playing it on my computer.
Okay.
So I'm using Steam.
Okay.
Yeah. I recommend it if you also like sim games. I like to refer to games like this as a fetch quest, where it's just like you talk to people and they're like, I wish I had a walnut, but I don't know where to find
Oh, yeah.
walnuts."
There's
And
a lot of those in
And
Zelda.
there's just a quest, right, that said like, get 10 walnuts for Fusco. And so you go around and you spend hours looking for walnuts so you can give them to Fusco.
That's literally what I did yesterday in Zelda. I was in one of the towns and like 3 or 4 of the quests were all about like finding this guy's cheese so he can make a pumpkin.
Yeah.
So that like, and it's all like interrelated? Yeah. Interrelated. And it's just like it's all that kind of stuff.
So I call those types of games fetch quest, which is just like I don't have to make the choices. Other people ask me for favors, and I go around looking
And
for the
do
thing
it.
that they're looking for.
Good name. Good name.
Yeah, and there's some. I really enjoy that. There's people that really hate a fetch quest.
I think it's a nice way to like turn off your brain.
I think so. It works
That's
for me.
how I see it. It's like I get to turn off my brain. whoever asked me to do this quest, take the wheel. And then
Seriously.
you know what I mean? I'm just doing the Lord's work.
I'm just doing the work of the Hobbit.
Pretty
you
much.
know? Like, they really needed me to cook a pie. So I had to go find some ingredients to cook a pie.
There you go.
Exactly.
So that's what I've been doing instead of reading. And I am knitting. Okay, I have to preface this with a little bit of context setting.
Backstory time.
Just a little teaser for what's coming up to you next week. I have gone on a little bit of a deep dive of my stash with the help of my good friend Ali, in the hopes of finding a better way to interact with it that is not so overwhelming for me. And in that deep dive, we unearthed a sweater and a half. Like a finished sweater and half a finished sweater. Using this Wool and the Gang Crazy Sexy wool in a charcoal gray.
It's a beautiful.
Which
yeah,
is also
wool. It's
part
so
of the
soft.
palette of a deep autumn, I have to say. So,
Okay.
like, instead of black, I believe charcoal gray suits us.
'Cause it's
a little
slightly
better.
warmer.
It has a little bit of extra, like, color in there than just black. And when I held that in my hands again, I suddenly had those feelings of dread of me having made these sweaters like 6 or 7 years ago and absolutely hating how it fit. It was just so disillusioning to have spent hours making it, and I had tried like different sweater patterns, and the one that we picked up was like the 3rd or 4th try. So this is well used and reused yarn, and even then I stuffed it in a bag, put it in the bottom of the closet, and didn't pick it up until now.
It was like behind 2 other bags on the bottom shelf.
It was
tucked
really
away
buried
she
in
was
there.
trying
in
to
the
avoid
dark.
it.
Yeah, it
And-
was not to be found.
And I realized that was just an emotional decision. I didn't want to confront the fact that I hadn't made something that was truly for me. I wanted to make something because I thought it looked cool on the picture, and I went and I spent money on this not inexpensive yarn that came from the UK, and I had a lot of guilt and shame feelings around having spent so much time and money and then not having ended up with something that I was gonna wear. And I didn't think about that for a really long time until we, like I said, unearthed it last week. So I decided I was going to actually make something that now, 6 or 7 years later, I know is going to fit my wardrobe. And to me, that is a cropped jacket that I can wear as outerwear instead of trying to make a sweater.
Nice.
like a pullover sweater. So I need the, because of how this wool feels on my body, I need to have,
Like it needs to open.
it
and
needs
be
to
airy.
open to be able to regulate the temperature, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's
Okay.
just going to be way too hot
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to be able to wear it for an extended period of time like I want to. I will be using it as outerwear. I found a pattern, I found 2 patterns actually that I liked from a really classy knitwear designer that goes by Kadri.
Oh yes. Yep.
Kadri on Ravelry and on Instagram, and they have really like simple tight stitch jackets made with this yarn specifically. So I've casted that on just this morning, and I'm working on the twisted rib neck right now.
I love that you're unraveling the piece you
Yeah.
made and knitting directly from it instead of unraveling the whole thing.
And I'll tell you why. It's because this yarn is sort of like a very loosely spun roving.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you
Yeah.
squish it, it
Yeah.
is really not plied. It is
No,
not
not at
spun.
all.
Oh yeah.
So the more you
It has
roll
just enough
it,
spin
unroll
to
it,
not-
use
Yeah.
it, unuse it, it pills like crazy. And it also, like, as you're knitting it, it kind of overspins a little bit and gets thick and thin in some places.
Yeah.
So I want to manipulate it as little as possible. So I decided, first of all, I'm lazy. Second of all, I want to try to maintain the consistency or the texture of the yarn as it is, so I'm not going to ball it and then use it. I'm just gonna frog and reknit as we go.
Nice.
So that's what I'm knitting. I'm hoping that this is going to, I'm not hoping, I know that this is going to turn into something that I actually am going to put into my rotating wardrobe, so I can write over or paint over those icky feelings from 6 years ago, and you know, make use of my yarn stash the way it was supposed to be used, which is to bring me enjoyment.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's what I got. That's what I got.
See, okay, this is a good segue, I feel, into talking about what I kind of hinted at earlier on.
Oh, yeah.
Crafting, capitalism, mass consumerism. Because it's this, like, running, I don't want to say running joke, but it feels like a running joke in the crafting community that collecting supplies and using the supplies are two different hobbies.
Yeah.
And
I've said this before.
And I feel like for people within the community, there isn't as much of like a poking fun at or judgment around having a lot of stuff. But at the same time, it's expected that you buy a lot of stuff and supplies. But then if you're not in the crafting community, people are like, why do you have so much stuff? What a waste of money. What are you going to do with it all? And it feels like on both sides, you're coming up against different expectations. And it's like, do you balance it? Should you balance it? I don't know. I feel like the crafting community, because like a lot of makers and dyers are like, I'm selling yarn. I want you to buy my yarn.
Yeah.
You feel like you need to have a lot of yarn.
Well, I also feel like there's a little bit of, like you said, expectation. Like, oh, if you're really, quote, serious about making and about the textile arts, you will have a large diversified stash.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you have too much yarn, and that is subjective to every person that you ask, they'll have a different threshold of how much is too much or too little, then there's also stigma about you over-consuming.
Yep.
There's this term that I love and hate called sable.
Yes.
Stash amount bigger than life expectancy.
Yeah.
Sable. And I feel like that is both unhelpful and shameful, but funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to feel about my own stash being evaluated by someone else as too little or too much. It is the right amount for me.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's a bit of a paradox when you think about it, because we're told to consume day in and day out. Like everything that you see, I mean, everything on TV and social media, like life in general, it's just buy. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, what we're trying to do is, yes, we're buying, but in order to make garments for ourselves.
Yeah.
So there's that bit of a paradox of, I'm consuming a product, but to make a product that I will not have to buy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like buying for slow making.
It feels
it's
like
a very
the
strange
opposite of that ethos.
Yeah, it's a very strange like paradox, but at the same time, you're right. Like everybody has their own limit or threshold on what is enough or what's not enough, and I'm very much under the like my way of thinking is I don't have any. I should not be judging anybody else's stash, and I would not expect anybody to judge mine. Or if they do, I could not care less about their judgment of my stash. You know? Like,
unfortunately, I care a lot.
Yeah.
I want to.
I'm a very sensitive gal.
I think for me, I've come at a point where I've had enough people criticize or not just like me generally, but like I've seen enough criticism and judgment go around that I'm just like, I'm at a point in my life where I think the age is helping, where it's like, you know, that song that's like, it's making the rounds in media right now, where it's this girl who just like sang a whole song about not giving a F.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where I'm at right now, especially when it comes to my hobbies and my life. And if, you know, like if I decide to try 50 different things, like now I'm teetering back to the piano thing. Maybe I should do it. The point is, long story short, like it's one of those things where I'm at a point where I just don't care. Yeah. Like I don't want, because it's a lot of effort.
It's funny you say that, because I was over at Carine's place this morning, and we were digging through your stash.
Yeah.
And her partner was there, And he's like, oh my God, you have so much yarn. And I went, oh my God, you think this is a lot? I have easily 3 times this. And he looked at me and he goes, why?
He's so confused.
And I've just been kind of
Okay.
This was not judgmental. This was not judgmental. This was genuine
he's
curiosity.
just very confused. He's
like,
like, why would you need
I
this?
did not take it as judgmental at all. And I've been kind of chewing on it. I'm like, yeah, why do I? Like, why have I felt the need to go and buy all of these supplies? Not as like a self-deprecating question, but like as a just genuine, like, what was my mindset that put me in a place where I was going to buy that much stuff knowing that I was buying it so much faster than I could use it.
We don't start with the intention of having it.
But hold on. Doesn't your partner also have a different hat for every day of the year?
Well, that's what he wants.
He doesn't have that.
He's working on it.
And this is not to be judgmental about anybody. The thing is, we don't understand what people's ideal amount of stuff is because it doesn't relate to what our ideal amount of stuff is.
If I were to tell him like look at my stash, look at like your magic cards.
He's got
like
what,
that's his hobby, that's his thing, right? So he has a lot of magic cards, especially now that you're
not actual Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering cards. So like for him, those are his like his babies, right? He loves those things. So like he'll spend without question very easily on magic cards. But to go back to the stash part, I think interestingly enough, not only do we not start with the idea of like, oh, I'm going to get so much yarn, but also it really depends on your mental state when you buy said yarn. Mm-hmm. First of all, we're not buying all the yarn at the same time, right? It's like it amounts through years.
Yeah.
But it's also like maybe at some point you're buying because it's a sale. Maybe at some times you're buying because you're rewarding yourself for accomplishing something. Maybe you're buying it because you feel shitty on that day and you want to buy something for yourself.
Maybe
it could also be because
plans. Like
you had
bought something before you knew you liked it.
It could also be that you have a specific project for it, and then things fall true, or you actually do use the. But the point is, your stash is essentially an amalgamation of like different reasons and different feelings and different decisions that brought you to how much yarn you have, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not just, it could also be because somebody gave you yarn.
Yeah.
Like somebody passed away or just decided not to anymore. I've had coworkers bring me bags of yarn. They're like, here, maybe you will use it. And then I grab whatever I want and I give away the rest. But the point is, like, there's so many reasons why you amass what you amass. So I don't think anybody starts with the intention of like
over-consuming.
But then it comes to a point where, yes, I'm very much that person where I will look at pretty yarn and go like, pretty yarn, I want it. Like without like, and I never thought I would be that person. I always thought I'd be like, I buy yarn when I have a pattern and a project for it.
Yep.
And now it's like, pretty yarn, come in my belly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want it.
In my belly.
Get in my belly. Like, I just want it.
You know what? Until very recently, you have been that person that is a monogamous knitter.
Yes.
You buy yarn when you have a project that you're about to cast on and not before.
Yep.
And I think it's a really healthy balance to allow yourself to be that person that follows plans because you like your plans.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But also, if the itch or, if the itch is kind of eating at you or you feel a little shoppy when you're out there is no shame in making a safe decision for you as long as you're not putting yourself in financial danger.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
However, I really hear you when you say there is a societal, a capitalistic push to get us to have these feelings of I need to buy now because the opportunity will pass me by.
Well, that's what happens when you go, think about it, when you go at a festival. I love those. I really love going to festivals. Too. But don't tell me that the buyers don't give you that impression because they do. Like, it's a once in a lifetime sale. Dude, the stuff's going to be on your, like, and I get it. Like, different dye lots could be a little different, the color. But the point is, at the end, it's this, and it's not just fiber festivals. It's any one-time event will give you that impression of like you're going to miss out if you don't buy now. When in reality, you could very well wait next week, go on their website, and get the same thing for the same price or half the price, whenever there's a sale on,
or find it from a wholesaler, or
exactly right.
So whatever.
But it's this this is very much a societal thing where, or I want to say even more a consumerism, materialism idea that we have now, where it's like, if you don't have all these things, then like clearly you're not living kind of deal, right? Where it's like it's also keeping up with the Joneses. If said person has 50 skeins, then I want to have 100 because I want to, you know what I mean? Like, which is stupid again. But it's very hard to not
kind of how I feel when I see those people that have wonderful Zoom backgrounds or video backgrounds with bookshelves stuffed to the brim of all possible colorful book spines, and I want to have that. But I need to be realistic with myself. First of all, I don't read physical copies of books. And second of all, do I really want that? Is that something that will make me happier? Or would it only make me feel like I'm not inadequate?
Exactly. And that's it. You nailed it. That's it.
Yeah, you said that, and I just had this realization in my brain. I don't feel like that about my books the way I feel about my yarn.
Interesting.
And I wonder if it's because I have been building this library, this personal library, for like almost 20 years.
Yeah, your whole life.
But really, I've only been like purchasing hand-dyed yarn and creating a stash since like 2019.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing is so much different in the sense that like I can look at my yarn stash and I can be like, I have X volume of yarn and I accumulated it in 6 years. But I can look at my library and I can be like, I have X volume of books and I accumulated it over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The volumes are similar, but one took me 3 times as long.
Yeah.
And are you considering this now because you're concerned about the timing? Like, is this going to get out of control if I continue at this pace?
No, I'm considering it just because it's just like, why has my brain said it's okay for you to have so many books and feel good about it, but it's not okay. I wonder if also that has to do with the connotations and the perspective of people outside of me being like books, intellectual, yarn crafts, grandma hobby.
It could also be that could, but it could also be because when you like the idea behind a book is also it's a story or a message, depending on the book, obviously, but it's giving you like a chunk of knowledge, whatever the knowledge may be, versus yarn, which is, it's also giving you something, but it's not knowledge. It's more like a finished project, and it's also something that sits until you pick it up and actually knit something with it, right? So it could also be that there's a bit of a, like, one of them is to make, but the other is like some kind of knowledge that you're gaining, I guess. Again, it depends on the book.
Yeah, I think there's something there to be poked at, because when I think about books as consumable items, I don't think about them as needing to be consumed right away.
Yes.
Like, there are books that we collect because we like them, because we refer, like, we have literally every Dungeons and Dragon book right in that bookcase right there. I feel no shame about having, like, same about, and the other one is about possibilities. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think the possibility factor is really telling in here. Like, having books that you reference are like, look how intellectual I am.
Yeah.
I have really good taste. I have this big collection that people have brought an equally self-important word to it, a personal library, right?
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of socially, to have a large personal library.
Versus
and whether
saying
you've read the book or haven't read the book, people don't go up to you and say like, oh my god, you have way too many. How many of those have you actually read?
Except for my mother.
Yeah.
Except for Alex's mother. But when it comes to yarn, I think we don't see art materials the way that we look at intellectual items, such as books and, like music collection, for example, because we spend a lot on music as well. But when you look at art materials, you're thinking about using those as a consumable item.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this expectation that you shouldn't have a lot collected
Yeah.
because you're supposed to be going through it and producing more out of it. So you're like there's this expectation that you'll cycle through it really quickly.
Yeah.
And why would you buy more than you can realistically use as you are going? And I think that is the difference, because people look at art materials as what they could possibly become, but they don't look at media, physical objects, as consumables. They look at them as collectibles.
See, I think it's the other way around. And maybe this is just my personal perspective on it, but like interacting with people in my bubble, they see books as being like, oh, you are going to read those. That's a thing that you're going to do in the future. You're going to get something from it. Versus a lot of the people in my family who don't craft see my yarn collection and go, oh my God, you have so much yarn. When are you ever going to use it?
That's
and then like
exactly
once
right.
I've used it, it's like, that's it. It's done. But then they don't see it as a pair of socks or a sweater that you can wear and you can keep going. That's really interesting. Whereas a book, it's like, oh yeah, everybody's like, oh yeah, you're probably going to reread it at some point in the future.
Exactly.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, I don't actually reread a lot of books. I keep the ones I might potentially.
Yeah.
But I pass them on once I've read them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fair.
Whereas I knit a lot of stuff and I keep it, but I also gift it.
Yeah.
And it just feels like there's a different not appreciation,
But
that's
it's
not the right word.
But here's the
a
thing,
different
though.
social understanding of the thing.
The appreciation also comes from a different, like, so when it comes to, or I mean, everybody's different, but like when it comes to reading a book, you enjoy the book while you're reading it, and then when it's done, it's done. Like, you might still enjoy it a little bit, but the point is, like, once you finish the book, that's it. But when it comes to knitting, it's not the finished project that's the enjoyment. That's just the cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah.
The sundae is the actual knitting part. The creating part is what you're really after, right? Unless, I guess, you're knitting for profit, or like where the idea is to get a product. But if you're doing it for enjoyment, then the difference is that with knitting, it's the journey, or like the using the yarn, and once the yarn is made into a garment or whatever, then that's done.
Yeah.
Versus a book where
There's two conversations that are happening right now that I'm
Yeah.
very interested in continuing, maybe
In
with a
future
bit more
episodes,
structure.
yeah, and
But one of the conversations is how much is too much, and why do I feel like I'm continually being pushed to buy more than I realistically need? And the other one is, why is there a necessity for my art and my fiber purchases to be a need and not a want?
Yeah.
Why am I being told by these external people that my collection of art materials is not as valuable as someone else's collection of media articles?
Yeah.
For
I have a
example, or
thought.
clothes.
I have a thought on the being pushed to buy thing. Okay, I follow a lot of yarn dyers, like independent yarn dyers on social media. I also follow a bunch of authors and a bunch of independent bookstores. Several times a week, I will see an indie tire being like, hey, new collection coming out, blah, 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 blah. You have, like, this is the date that it's launching. Every indie dyer I look at as an individual business, right? Whereas when it comes to authors and books, like, yes, I'm seeing what authors are putting out there in the world, but I'm only really focusing on what my one local indie bookstore is doing. And I'm seeing books as one business that I have to go to support.
That's very
because
true.
I can just go
That's
to the
an interesting
bookstore
point.
and I can buy one book and I feel like I have supported the writing community. Whereas when I look at all the indie dyers, I'm like, cool, if I bought yarn from this person, well, I've supported one business.
Yeah.
But like, I'm following 70 more businesses. I don't feel like I've done enough
Yes.
to support that small
That's
economy.
a really good point. And we've met multiple indie dyers in our city even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I have $30 to spend, and like both Crazy About Yarn, Lab Fibers, and Alley Cat Yarn are present, I have to choose. Am I going to use my hard-earned money to support Sarah, or Caitlin, or Melissa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard decision that I make with a lot more care.
Yes.
Because it's not just I'm buying yarn that I want or that I need for a project. It's also I am putting my money to support my community.
Yeah.
And that's not the same as saying, like, I'm going to pay $6 for this audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I see the indie bookstore and I'm like, I'm buying this book. I'm supporting Cole and Steven and their mission. But at the same time, I know some of those dollars are going back to the author as well.
Yeah.
So it's like one purchase supporting multiple people and has a trickle effect versus in the yarn dyeing community, one purchase supporting one business.
And I would also posit that when you buy from a local dyer or from Wabi Sabi, let's say from your local yarn store, yes, the local yarn store is going to profit from your purchase, but also the maker of the yarn and the farmer that supplied the wool.
Yeah.
So if you want to think about it as how far does your investment reach, then it is quite far if you start digging it up.
Yep.
Not a significant amount of money though.
No.
For at least not for the beginning of that chain of supply, but I think it's equally valuable. But you make a really good point that when we buy yarn specifically, it's difficult to determine where, like, is it one category because it's the category of yarn? Or is it 3 categories because it's 3 different businesses that I want to support?
Yeah. I guess we're just not seeing it as the chain.
Yeah.
Whereas it's easier to see in a shop front, it is a chain because there's so many different businesses or makers or authors represented.
Yeah.
So it's just like, instead of having the diversity of choice in one, like, festival room, you have the diversity of choice on one shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, obviously, we can't run away from the fact that social media itself has a big impact.
There's big FOMO that comes with
it used to be, way back when, it used to be like on cable TV, you'd have the commercials. These didn't affect me at all. But social media, scrolling and seeing the same thing over and over, eventually it does, because I'm like, maybe I'll see it the first time, I'm like, but when it's the 50th time I see it, I'm like, okay, now it's starting to
maybe I do want it.
Yeah.
Wait, do I want it?
So, and because we're we're constantly bombarded with like things to buy, whether it's services, products, whatever, and obviously the algorithm knows you, so it's going to send you products or like commercials in business about businesses that they know you're going to want. So obviously my stuff is full of like dyers and yarn shops and festivals and things that like it knows I want. So it's even worse because at least when it was cable TV, it was diversified commercials because they're trying to reach everybody.
Some stuff you want, some stuff you don't want.
But this one, it's like everything. I want everything because it's all been catered to me.
Yeah.
So that you can't escape the fact that is...
That must be part of it too then. Like
very much a problem.
Mass consumption must by mandate because we're inundated predominantly with things we want targeted to us versus, again, that diversity of choice where maybe only 20% of it applies to you.
But that's one of the reasons why people are coming out and saying, how scary it is to think that like that our data is being sold and bought everywhere, because then that's how they know what we want all the time. And I used to think like, whatever. But no, it's true. After a while, it does get to you. It does wear you down, and it makes it a lot harder. And it's very frustrating because when you think about it, it's very predatory for them to do this because essentially you end up...
that's the part of capitalism that's very invasive.
Because eventually you end up cracking and you buy and then you feel shameful about it, when in reality, the people what should be shameful is that practice of like literally wearing you down.
Shoving
till
stuff
you,
down your throat.
Because nobody forced you to buy it. No, but when you see the same thing...
But didn't they though?
Kind of.
Subliminally.
Right? So like that's what's frustrating because it's a very fine line. You may not have like held a gun to my head, but by showing me the same message 100 times a day, eventually, it's like it's mental manipulation.
And then there's been this rise of, for lack of a better term, pity marketing that you see, where to a degree, when a small business is like, we just got slapped with this giant tax bill, or like we just had to replace this equipment because something broke, we're having a sale,
or we had a loss,
or we had
like
a lot, whatever,
sort of material, whatever.
Like that, I can understand because the margins on a small business so razor thin,
super tight.
But when you see a lot of but like larger scale businesses being like, oh, woe is me, nobody's buying my stuff. but it's clearly just like a marketing ploy.
Yeah,
It's so frustrating.
You can tell.
Yeah.
There's like, for me, like you said, remember at the Knit City Montreal when one of the dyers that was there, their stuff got. Were you there? No, their stuff got literally like
one of the vendors' boxes.
Yeah, they got lost.
Got lost in the mail.
So that, you tell me that, I'm buying whatever's there for you because like, that's the thing, right? It's a very different thing because it's not, like, this is not a pity party. This is very much like a real life situation that's happening.
This is the community showing up.
Exactly. Yep. Versus that person that, like, that will post or, like, and it's usually, like, a small, even big businesses can do that where they kind of, like, give you that, like, guilt trip you into trying to buy stuff by saying, oh, look at how sad I look. Okay, no. Like, that doesn't work. And it's and I think people are starting to notice the difference because people are starting to actually, like, be really annoyed by this kind of, like, tactic.
Well, hold on, because I think this is a really clear sign of late stage capitalism as well, where we have reached a point in which we are all extremely aware of how bad capitalism is for humanity.
Yeah.
And not only are we aware of it, we are using that awareness to push more capitalism.
Which is really frustrating.
Which is like, in simple terms, let's say that I sell stuff and I tell you, I can't believe I have to live in this awful world where I need to sell my time and my skills and my objects just to survive. And I'm doing so unwell. I'm going to have this, like, 50% off sale so that you can help me live through this hellscape that we all live together. And so I am using the awareness of this negative impact of capitalism to push more capitalistic acts to be performed, right?
Yeah.
So, like, not only am I complaining about the system, I am also contributing to the system in a manipulative way.
Yeah.
And that is so telling of the hellscape that we live in.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Have you, like, here's a question.
There is no further opportunity for us to make any ethical, moral decisions when it comes to buying anything.
Yep.
So here's a question for you. Do you ever feel, what you call
like
it?
A plastic
buying?
bag?
No,
drifting through the wind?
Yeah, that too.
Start again?
But do you ever feel tired, what do you call it? Buyer's
remorse?
Tiredness?
Buyer's tiredness.
So, like, what I'm trying to say is there ever a point where you're like, I'm just tired of consuming?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
all the time.
capitalistic fatigue.
Like, yeah, just
all
like,
the time.
I don't, but, like, a period where it's like, I just don't want to buy anything, like, I like anything.
Yeah.
Like, I've started to do this thing where on my habit tracker, I started recently, where I actually added a habit that says, I did not spend money today. And you would not believe how many times I don't
press that,
like, because I've spent money, and it could be anything. It could be from, like, a little, like, a croissant.
Do you include your necessary purchases? Like,
yes, everything.
Okay,
everything. So, like, and obviously if it's groceries, like, I cut myself some slack, but, like, it's from the smallest little thing all the way up to, like, an impulse buy. It's all in there. But, like, I think there may be, if I'm lucky, one day a week where I didn't buy anything at all, like, including groceries or food, or I didn't go out to buy coffee. Well, I don't drink, but,
and
like,
maybe it's not a purchase, my friend, but it like, there not a day goes by when you're not
consuming
something. But it would
when you're not incurring an expense. So, like, maybe I spent all day at home. I worked from home. I cooked all 3 of my meals, and I stayed and I didn't make a purchase. But I still used utilities. I still spent water.
Yeah.
I still, used electricity for my computer.
Yeah.
I still consumed the tomatoes that I bought last week.
Yeah.
Everything I did incurred a cost, whether I spent it right then and there, or I pre-purchased it, or I put it on a credit card.
But
everything
at the same time,
you do is costly.
Yeah, but we do have to put a difference between, like, what are necessities to stay alive,
exactly,
versus, like, everything else. Because let's be real, we all need a roof. Ideally, we would all have a roof. Food, water, all that stuff, right? The rest, that's where, but, like, to be fair, my little habit button could be like
Impulse
could
purchasing.
like just be impulse purchase.
Yeah, it could be filtered down
anything,
a little
yeah,
bit.
exactly. Anything other than just, but it's still very interesting to me that like even on weeks where I would try really hard, so I'm not gonna buy anything. I would literally like put check marks on days and go like, on those days I'm allowed to spend, on any other day I'm not.
Yeah.
And I would still find ways
It's
to.
impossible.
I'll be, oh well, I forgot I had a massage there, which is definitely not a need. I mean,
it's a need.
I don't know.
It's a need.
For me, it's a need.
It's preventive healthcare.
Yeah. or like another day, I just stop at a coffee shop to get something. Or I meet up with you guys and I'm like, and we're like, let's go eat at a restaurant or whatever. Like, so sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's not planned. But at the end of the day, I do it and I don't necessarily feel shame because I know what I buy when I don't buy.
Yeah.
But I realize that like we are, even necessities aside, I consume a lot more than I would want to. And then there are periods where I just kind of like my brain goes like, I don't want to spend on anything. And I will literally like spend a whole week just like just groceries and that's it. Right. And I'm forcing myself to.
The number of times I personally, and I'm sure other people as well, have done the mental gymnastics to justify the impulse purchases because I'm supporting a small business. I'm supporting a woman-owned business. I'm supporting a queer-owned business.
Yes.
I'm supporting a one-off person with a dream and a goal and a desire to create something to put out there in the world that's wholesome. And I'm like, no, that money is well spent. It is. It is well spent.
It's still spent, though.
But it's still spent.
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, we cannot separate from the fact that whenever you buy something, there's a little dopamine gremlins in your brain going, yay! Like, so, and it feels good. Like, I don't care what people say, it feels good. It may not last super long, but it feels really good. This is why one of the best advice I ever heard when it comes to impulse buying is come back in 24 hours. Especially if it's online. If you're the kind of person who does a lot of online shopping, leave it in your cart, walk away.
Chances are they'll send you a coupon for 15% off.
There's that. But also, if you still, like, they did a study, and apparently, especially in people who did that, like, a lot, I guess compulsive online shoppers, and they realized that, like, in more than 50% of cases, people did not come back the next day. And in that 50%, half of those had forgotten about the purchase altogether.
Yeah.
Like they had forgotten they had actually like wanted to buy this. Yeah. So it doesn't mean they won't think about it later, but it just goes to show how if you just give yourself time, you may very well be like, maybe I don't need this. But on the flip side, if you do come back and you still think about it, then maybe it's because it's meant for you. My rule of thumb when it comes to like in front of me shelf shopping, it'll be if it's the last one and it's in my size. Or for my color or whatever, then I get it. That's the impulse buy that I give myself. If it's the last one and it's like my size or the color that I like or whatever, it's coming home with me. But if there's more than one, I'll wait, come back, and then if it's still there, it was meant to be mine. If it's not, then it was meant to be mine.
So you're fabricating scarcity or seeking scarcity to justify like a purchase that for you is worth it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I struggle a lot with impulse buying, and I realize that through therapy, I've understood that impulse decisions and impulse spending is one of the unfortunate side symptoms of neurodiversity, of the kind that I have is a dopamine imbalance, right? So when you find something that gives you a dopamine like hit,
a
kick, and you buy it, you ride that joy and calm like for a couple of hours after that, or even a day, but then my brain doesn't produce enough of it to sustain it for longer, so you kind of get addicted to small bursts of dopamine that way, which is such a dangerous place to be for me, because if I allow myself to reward, generate dopamine through purchasing, it's going to only snowball into more and more and more buy-in.
But it's also, in cases like people who have ADHD, it's even worse because every time you purchase something, it's probably something a little different, which means it's a little different new distraction.
Yeah, it's the
and that
novelty.
It's the novelty, that new distraction just comes and like hits you. So it's not just the buying, it's what you're buying. That's also like, it's a new thing I have and own now. Yeah. And it's just like, it's, double whammy.
I mentioned this because when we're talking about capitalism and petty marketing and scarcity mindset marketing being a predatory business practice, this is even more scary and dangerous for neurodivergent people like you and me, because this hits us in an actual chemical deficiency that is directly targeting our disability. And so there's gotta be an intentional approach from capitalistic ventures to literally capitalize on neurodivergent people who get their only dopamine from things like this from novelty, from pushing something new.
This is why the online shopping landscape has evolved to one-click shopping. Yeah. Because by removing every single possible hurdle, they're grabbing people earlier in that cycle, to the point that they're grabbing people before they've even had a chance to consider or think about if they want the thing, if they need the thing, how they're going to use the thing. Yeah. They just see, they get people at the point where they're like, ooh, shiny, click, it's coming here. Yeah. Like, before you even have a chance to
here's the thing. As much as it pains me to say this, they'll never change, because it makes them money. So that formula is not going anywhere. It sucks, but
do we have to change that?
No. But I think
we can put our own hurdles in place. Like, for the longest time, I refused to have my credit cards on my phone because I did not want to have that ability to one-click shop, right? The only reason I did was because I went to get a shawarma, forgot my wallet, felt so bad that I put my credit card on my phone so that I could make sure that I would never leave a small business without paying. Again,
that's kind of cute though.
Fire Shawarma at Holland and Wellington, they're the real ones. Because they let me take the food home and come back the next day to pay. Truly MVPs. But I created that hurdle for myself so that I actually had to get up off my couch, go to my bag, grab my wallet, sit back down,
enter the number,
card out, enter the number, and by the point I got there, 9 out of 10 times, I was too lazy to get off the couch to get my wallet.
Interesting.
And so I didn't. I've gotten to the point now in my life where I just don't impulse buy stuff. I don't go shopping. I haven't bought any new clothes in ages, right? Like, I don't do that kind of stuff. My issue is food. My issue is wanting to go and eat out, which, through talk therapy and everything, is related to the heavy policing of what I ate as a child. Yeah. That's to be unpacked in a different situation. But that is where my impulse control is lacking.
But I think you're right. Hurdles.
If you put a hurdle in place that is holistic to you, that you are comfortable having in place, I have found it worked for me to keep me from impulse purchasing.
Yeah, because like my
to the point where I don't even think about impulse purchasing anymore.
I haven't bought yarn online in a really long time. And I made I'm realizing now as we're talking about this that I made a conscious decision a couple of years ago to always check the local yarn store first. If I see it online and I like it and I want it, it's quite likely that the local yarn shop's going to have it. So I have to walk there to check it out. And if they don't have it...
You gotta walk all the way home?
I gotta walk all the way home and buy it. And very often, by the time that happened, I was like disillusioned and didn't really need it anymore.
Well, that's what it is.
Or I was like, you know what? Knit City is coming, so I'm just gonna wait until March and then I'll buy it directly from the vendor.
I go to my stash now. I get a newsletter from a yarn store and I'm like, ooh, that collection's really nice. And I like blow up the photo on my phone and I stand next to my yarn stash and I'm like, okay, I have basically that color. I have basically that color. Yep. I have a sweater quantity in essentially that color.
That's a great idea.
Really good idea.
And then, like, of the 6 colors that are offered in the collection, I have 3 or 4 in almost identical shades, and I'm like, I don't need anything.
So you mean you did not buy twice the same yarn, just different weights, because you really like the color, and I did that. Okay, I'm the only one.
That's a really good thing that I have to start doing now, because spoiler alert, I've photographed my stash and put it in a fancy little folder on my phone. So that's a really good hurdle that I can start implementing for myself. If I feel like I want to buy yarn, take the photo from where I'm seeing it, compare it to the album, of my actual collection of yarn
Yep.
and see if I don't already own something, and I very probably do because I have predictable taste.
And look, at the end of the day, we can't gloss over the fact that this is kind of like when people say to women, going outside at night, don't go outside at night, don't, like, it's essentially we have to create our own solution,
Yep.
but because they will never change.
I thought you were
Capitalism-
going to say this is like when telling the women we have McDonald's at home.
No. I mean, what?
We don't. Like, when you say, like, let's go to McDonald's, and then
Yeah.
whoever you're with is like, we have food at home.
Oh, no.
And then the food at home is not chicken nuggets. So,
I meant
up.
the idea where we're telling the quote unquote victim, because in this case I wouldn't call myself a victim, but like the person
who is in
who
danger.
who needs the solution. We're not going to do it for you, so you do it yourself. And it kind of sucks
Yeah.
that we have to come up with our own hurdles.
Yeah,
but,
it's like we're not going to take away the problem. You have to find a way to avoid the problem.
But
Ah, I
we do
understand.
have to account for the fact that we are adults. Like, there's no way around it. We have to account for the fact that we have thinking brains. We can also take accountability
Maybe you
to
do.
a certain degree, right? What I mean by that is you can't blame yourself all the time.
yeah,
And you can set yourself up for success instead of
Yeah.
failure, so
Yeah.
that at least
like that.
half the time you're not like impulse buying and again, it doesn't always work. Sometimes I will buy the things I said I wasn't going to do, and then I still do it anyway. So it doesn't always work. But if it works at least, like 1 or 2 times out of, I don't know, 5, you're still better off than if it never works
Yeah.
for you.
Word.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
So it's just, it still sucks, but it is what it is. It's part of the,
sometimes you just got to lean into the lazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I want to think, but I
I'm too lazy to get
am
the
too
credit
lazy
card.
to get the credit card or to go to the shop and buy it, I'm probably not going to buy it.
Honestly, what this is telling me is in pretty much every case, what you really need to do is buy time.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say buy at this point, but like, have a bit of time pass between the moment where
Buffer.
you see the
Add a
thing.
buffer.
Yeah, a buffer of time, but
Buffy.
it's time. We need Buffy.
We need Buffy.
we need a Buffy of time, because like essentially the second you give yourself a little bit of that, because think about it, the one click away, that's what they
that's
did
the danger
is
zone.
remove time so that you don't
Danger
have time
zone.
to think. But if you give yourself time, however whether it's 5 minutes or 5 days.
Yep.
Or like these people who like will literally freeze
Yeah.
their money or their credit card in a
Yeah.
block of ice
Yeah.
and put it in
Yeah.
the freezer. I love it.
Yeah.
Because then you have to physically wait for the card to thaw. I mean, obviously if your card's in your phone, that doesn't work anymore. But,
Yeah. Listen, and I'll, like, to kind of round out this topic, it's not immoral to shop more or to
Yeah.
shop less.
Yeah.
That is, like, buying stuff through a capitalistic society that we live in is an amoral activity.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. And whether or not you have the liberty to shop more or shop less, that doesn't make you a good or a bad person.
Yep.
What we are talking about right now is how little control we realize we have on the purchases that we make, because a lot of capitalistic marketing is now very reliant on psychology and on implanting ideas on you that you don't really realize are happening.
Yep, and on essentially knowing, like, stealing your data and knowing what you want,
Yeah.
They know you better than you know yourself sometimes, which is disturbing.
Yeah, or it's just kind of like that movie Inception, where you, like, they just, like, show you signs here and there, and you start to put the pattern recognition in your brain together, and then that leads you to want to buy something you otherwise wouldn't have known existed. And living in a world, in a time when literally every piece of information and every product in the world is discoverable, makes it very difficult for you to not shop more.
Yeah.
And that's just a product of the time that we live in. So if we were living out in a cottage in the prairies and we didn't have internet, we wouldn't have this overconsumption problem because we wouldn't even know that yarn exists outside of the one that our neighbor makes.
I mean, there'd be a lot of problems living in that era, for
sure.
But I'm not gonna lie, that simplicity is not something it's something I think I could get used to.
So at the end of the day, I think what we're trying to say is, if the only thing we as individuals can work on is teaching ourselves to not feel shame for buying too much or buying too little, and just working on getting to a place of
feeling good about what you have.
Feeling good about what you have, and then recognizing that when you want a thing, it's okay to buy it, but it's also okay to be like, no, I don't really need it.
I think it should
neutrality,
be,
I guess?
Or
neutrality.
Maybe saying buying when you actually want to buy and not when your brain tells you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's a bit of a difference between that little like dopamine kick and I actually want to buy this.
In recognizing the patterns of influence, hopefully we can work to being de-influenced and making choices of our own volition, and not because the machine is telling us we need to have the thing.
Yeah.
Because we'll be lesser than if we don't have the thing.
On top of that, 100% of the times, I'm going to try my best to give my money to a small local business.
Same.
Yes.
Rather than give it to a big corporation.
Obviously, this
that
is
comes
also
with its caveats,
yeah. Like
course.
obviously, if you can't afford
but
it.
When I'm talking about yarn, for example, I'm gonna try my best to give it to a small local business.
Same.
We understand that we are coming from a place of privilege by saying this, because if you don't have that anywhere near you, there's not much we can
do what fits your financial means, and don't feel shame. Please do not feel shame if that means having to go to a big box store to buy your groceries or get yarn or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, do not put yourself in financial peril because you want to be just like everybody else. Because you
Keeping
can never
up with the Joneses is not a good idea.
you can never be just like anybody else, because you are a beautiful, unique person with your own incredibly unique life circumstances. And we should be working towards finding what fits our circumstances best, as opposed to trying to fit into other people's expectations of what we should consume and shouldn't consume.
And essentially ending with the song in social media, the I don't give a F, which is like perfection in my opinion, because it literally is. I've come to the point in my life where the outside should not have that much influence in me.
I have no more to give.
Yeah, and I think that's that's
well, this is perfect because I just got to the end of my gusset, so like I feel like this is a
segue
natural segue to Knitspiration.
Can you click Shift K?
Oh, where's Shift? This one?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Where's K?
That. Yay!
Where'd she go?
Oh no, we lost the.
Oh my god!
Well, at least you didn't see me like waddle away to get.
There we go. Okay.
My basket.
It's time.
All right. Well, how about you start off?
Inspiration.
Yeah. You started off. Start us off, Annie.
I am currently inspired by the chunky knits of Beatrific Brenda.
Woo-woo,
Brenda
local
Lamb,
designer.
local designer here from Ottawa. I was made aware of Brenda through a knit night goer called Margot, who is very in the know of a lot of fiber happenings. And Margot had attended a talk that Brenda Lamb had given at the Ottawa Knitting Guild, where she was talking about the production of her Chunky Knits and her Chunky Knits book that recently came out. I think it's called How to Knit or something like that by Brenda Lamb.
Something like that. Well,
Or
I'll find a link.
or how to get started with knitting or something like that.
I'll put a link in the bio.
Brenda has such a cute aesthetic. She's making really chunky, like chunky gauge garments that are at the same time classy and modern, but with a little bit of that playful style that just comes from bouncy, chunky, bulky yarn. And I find it really difficult to hit that perfect middle ground between childish chunky knits and just practical and usable chunky knits. And Brenda really hit the nail on the
Yep.
head with this collection that she's been working on. Just yesterday, our friend Mars was mentioning that they had finished Brenda Lamb's Brady vest.
Yep.
And I realized I have more of this crazy sexy wool yarn.
3 colors of it?
3 colors of it. And it's just about the right amount for me to make a version of Brenda Lamb's Brady vest. So that's gonna come onto my needles right after I finish this jacket.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm really inspired. I as I said earlier, I had kind of yucked a little bit on the chunky knits because I had this disillusion.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's just fun to have it. And yeah, I'm a chunky person, but chunky person, chunky knits, right?
I mean,
Yes.
also, it
As
goes
long
so
as-
fast.
As long as
Yeah.
I find a silhouette that is not going to overwhelm my frame, I am still excited to try out some of these chunky knit patterns from Brenda Lamb. So I'm really inspired by her. You go, Brenda Lamb.
And she's local to us too. She's based in Ottawa as well.
Yeah, and she's cute as a button.
Oh my god, she seems so sweet. I've been following her for a few years now, and like she's just so happy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of her real life she shares online versus, what we see. I don't know that. But what her content is just so joyful and bubbly.
It's
that
contagious.
if you're having a bad day, like interacting with her content just like lifts you up.
Yeah, it's just very joyful knitting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's
What
pretty
are you inspired by?
I am actually inspired by something I just finished the other day, finally.
What is
So,
this?
as we have seen on the pod before,
multiple times.
this is the doppio sweater that I knit for my sister.
It's so
Right?
nice.
I love it so much. All of the details will be in my Ravelry page that will be linked down below. I'm going to knit a yin-yang one for myself. Hers is light, mine will be dark. But when I got to the end of it, and when I weighed how much yarn I had left over, I was really shocked to find out that, so this is the size 4. I have no idea if I'm on gauge. I think I'm just slightly off gauge, but like, whatever, it's fine. But I was very shocked to realize that in knitting the size 4, and a garment that would, for me, this is much longer and much larger than I would typically wear for myself. She likes an oversized sweater. I used just over 200 grams each of the the 2 fingering weight yarns, and then just over 100 grams of the mohair. And I was like, that's basically nothing.
Yeah.
I oftentimes will buy 2 skeins of a color when I am not 100% sure if I have a plan for what I want to do. I'll buy 2 skeins so that I could use it in a garment or a shawl.
All right.
So I have several duos in my stash, and I was like, okay, well, I already know what I'm doing for mine, but I could make more of them.
You really
because
could.
I already have quite a bit of yarn in stash that would work for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and if I wanted to be a little bit more like, okay, maybe I'm not sure if I have enough yarn, well, I could do the cuffs and the hem and the collar in a different color, and then I would
That would
definitely
look
have
so cute, like a little bobber jacket.
yeah, and I definitely have enough
little
yarn
sporty.
out of 2 skeins of fingering weight.
Hell yeah.
So it's just gotten me really inspired to go through my stash and find other combos to make, because when I make mine, this one, if I were to put it on, it hits me like long in the hip. The sleeves are like past my knuckles, like
Very Ariana Grande.
like I don't know if you can tell, but like my fingers are
That's definitely the Ariana
right.
Grande
Like
sleeve line.
there's my Anyway, so for me, it would take even less yarn because I would make it shorter sleeved, cropped in length.
Totally.
And I'm like, I'm invigorated to go into my stash and like find these combos and be like, what can I make with what I already have?
Well, now I know I need a size 4 because I'm very much like
Well,
your sister. I love that.
I haven't blocked it yet, so I have no doubt it's gonna grow. But you're more than welcome to try it on to see how you like the size.
Yeah.
And then this is.
I'd be like, this is too big for
and
me
it
now.
knit up so fast because you're knitting on a 6mm needle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like this, I think it's equivalent to a worsted weight gauge. Like
I
it
love
was
those.
so fast. So I told myself I was going to take a break before I start mine. We'll see how long that lasts. But
I need to say,
I love
6mm needle, 1 mohair strand, 1 fingering wool. That's very easily my favorite gauge of all time. Oh my god,
Oh, yeah,
it's so cute.
Like, it is definitely too big for me, and it's definitely too long, and, like, you can see, like, you know, my fingers are...
she's gonna look amazing.
But this is I sent her a photo of it when it was done, and she goes, "Oh my god, when can I have it?" And I was like, "Wait, I have to knit mine first." And she's like, "Do you have to?"
But you can
I could
now.
like hear her thinking it. Do you need to before I get mine? So we'll see. If one of my parents goes out to visit her before Christmas, I'll send it off. But if
we
they
need
don't,
to find you a little label to put in the bag that says, "If you put this in the dryer, I will slap you."
oh, she
Oh.
knows. She's actually super.
I love that.
She's
Let's
so
do this.
knitworthy. She's like, okay, like, can I put this in the washer? Can I not put this in the washer? But like and her partner too. Sean is like, he'll be doing the laundry, and he's like, the socks have to come out. Like, this has to come out. Like, they both know.
Amazing.
So yeah, they're very knitworthy.
That
on
is
front.
so inspiring indeed.
Yeah. So like, it really doesn't. It looks like it takes a lot of yarn, and theoretically it does, but because you're holding 3 different strands together, 3 different colors together, it doesn't take a lot of each individual yarn. So it's definitely possible for you to go through your stash, find some things, and make it work. You could do it scrappy, you could do it stripy. Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
The tingles are tingling.
Ooh.
So
The tingles are
anyway,
tingling.
yeah, this is what I finished it, and now I'm really inspired to start mine and to make more in the future.
It's such a great classic silhouette.
And I think
You
because
could
of
make so many variations
because
of
of how
Doppio.
warm this is going to be, I feel like this would easily function as an outer garment in like early fall, like before it hits 0, before
like
it hits
mixing
freezing.
this one with like a nice like body tight turtleneck,
Yeah,
and just like your
as a
jeans and your
layering
boots.
piece. Yeah,
Canadiana perfection.
yeah. So this
agreed.
is So I'm sure I will knit 1 if not 2 more Doppios
Amazing.
within the next year.
I love that. That's such a
That's
great.
awesome.
That's such a
Yeah.
great FO.
Yeah, thank
Well
you.
done.
Very very much inspired by it, so I'm excited. Yeah,
Thank you, Megan, for the inspiration.
it was my idea. She didn't
What's-
even ask for it.
What's inspiring you?
This lovely picture of, let me turn it because it's going to be easier.
You're gonna have to show the camera real
Yeah.
quick.
Alright, hopefully you get to see.
Get in real close and cover our
Wow.
faces.
And a little bit further back. There you go.
Kind of. Ish.
Whoop, whoop. I was
Nope,
trying.
this way. Curses! Anyway.
Hold on.
You can kind of see.
Pull it back. Pull it back.
Maybe not.
Ish.
So this is a
It's a photo of your stash.
photo of my before stash.
That
Pretty aesthetic looking
has,
already.
Yeah, I know, I love. That's why I took it, because I figured like it'd be a nice background for something.
For your photo.
So the point is, I'm inspired by the stash itself, because I'm one of those people that has all my yarn in a bin, so I don't see it every day. And when we just did the reorganizing and like everything, it was like. Diving through this, I'm like, oh my god, I've had that for like 5 years. Like, so
it's
there's
crazy what you can't see. You really
Yeah.
don't enjoy.
and I'm very much like my I have a renewed want for a Billy bookcase where I can literally have my own yarn shop in my house, because I feel like that's what it would feel like. You know, just like, this is my little, like, it's no longer my stash. I'm just going shopping in my bookcase.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Right now, in a bin, it is a little hard because I'm a very visual person. It will make things a little easier now, but like, it's still not perfect. So eventually, when I get the space, Billy bookcase.
Yeah. Billy bookcase is my favorite organization solution.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
And I don't, well, yeah, you have, because I've seen them, but like, we sprung for the extra glass fronted doors.
Oh yeah.
Which is a separate purchase, but in my opinion, worth the
Oh,
while.
they're so worth it though.
No, I like
I
it.
have my Billy bookcases are in my bedroom, and like, this is my bed, these are the bookcases. I wake up each morning and I open my eyes, and it's the first thing I see.
It's
Truly great.
a wonderful.
You start every day looking at a
yeah,
rainbow.
Exactly.
That's true.
So you're inspired by your stash. You're inspired by your stash.
That's it. It's a very simple, but also very strong, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Image.
because you've rediscovered what you
Yeah,
have, and it's
yeah.
like giving you the itch to start new stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
That's so nice.
100%.
And so are you. Really nice. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, even though we had some technical difficulties in the beginning.
As always.
We will be cutting that part out so that you're not hearing us struggling
Yeah.
throughout the the setting up of the first few
Couple
minutes
of
of the
Hopefully,
episode.
if you're watching this in the future, you're like, what technical
What
difficulties?
technical
If we did our job right,
Yeah. We continue to learn to bring you better content. We are educating ourselves to learn how to edit videos and how to set up the live streams better. We continue to improve our gear and ourselves and prepare better. So let us know if you are liking what we're putting down, if you're picking up what we're putting down, and what you want us to talk about in next live stream. We'd be happy to include that in the agenda for sure. So thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Anahí.
Carine.
And I'm Allie.
And we are your three pearls, coming to you with lots of perspectives. And we'll see you again on the next live stream 2 weeks from now. In the meantime, stay tuned for next week, where Allie is going to show us how to really take back control of our yarn stashes. So that's coming up to you next Sunday. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you again.
Bye.